Alright guys, welcome to my ride to work. This will be my full work commute along with a commentary. I believe it's about 5-6 minutes after 7 a.m. It's garbage day in my neighborhood, so I just put out my garbage. And now we're gonna ride to work. So I got my lights going. It's still kind of twilight in the morning, so I'm just putting flashers on. Yeah, so looks like we're good to go. Turn off this inside light here. Sorry if it's a little dark. And lock the door. Right. It's definitely a cooler, cold morning. Right now it's about 4 Celsius. So I've got long pants on. So I'm not wearing shorts this morning, unfortunately. And it's already very windy for this time in the morning. It's a northwest wind, so right now we're definitely headed into a headwind, but eventually our direction will change and we'll be dealing mostly with a tailwind. Initially, we've got kind of a false flat until we get to the highest point on my commute, and then the rest of the way it's actually mostly downhill or flat. So it ends up being actually a really fun ride to work. Got a slight incline here. I mean, it's not, can't even really call it a hill, but at 7:10 in the morning, I've only been up for 15 minutes or so. It feels like a hill. It takes a bit for me to get warmed up in the morning. So what, 4 Celsius, the tips of my ears are definitely feeling cold. I could have wore a toque. Right now I'm just wearing a cycling cap. Okay, so we've got to the high point. Now deal with a lot of gradual downhill. Dealing with the crosswind, a slight cross headwind. Back into the wind. minutes. A couple weeks ago when it was still completely light out, but the Hero3's got good low light performance, so you guys should see just fine, hopefully. Route to work. Actually, try and take a route. It gets tweaked every day because every day my average speed is different, so there's lots of little tweaks I can make so that my ride to work takes a minimum of 30 minutes so that I can actually consider it exercise. If I was to just go more or less pretty directly, probably get to work in a little over 20 minutes. So what I do generally adds 10, 12, 13, 14 minutes to the ride. Across the streets and get onto some bike path. So we've been doing a whole bunch of construction on this street next to us. It's taken months and months and months. This little entrance exit to the bike path that we're coming up to was closed. Now it's finally open. Well, they haven't smoothed it over yet. So now the fun starts. Now we get to the really fun parts of the ride. We're about to swing a left. A super fun section of bike path. Winds and twists with left and right. It's mostly downhill. There are some Strava segments down this section. So actually there's a whole bunch of Strava sections along my entire route to work. So some mornings I do basically an interval workout on the way to work using those Strava segments. uphill, falls flat. My Cannondale. When it starts getting dark in the morning, I generally start using flat bar bikes. It's just easier to mount my lights to them. It's really hard to mount lights on my Fargo. My route is also good because I don't have to stop at any lights, because I can cut through a business parking lot or something similar. We're coming up on a red light here, but I can turn right. Like it may be green by the time we get there, though. So we cross over onto the university property, Lakehead University of Thunder Bay. There's also a medical school on this property. Now it gets fun again. It's gradual downhill. Yesterday, but I'm feeling very good this morning. Go through the university campus. Pretty fast through here because it's gradual downhill, so it's not really a road, so you end up catching up to slower traffic all the time. Bunny hop and speed bump. Now we have to go on some path. checking the temperature here on my Garmin. So right now it's saying 4.2 Celsius. Come out on the road. Kind of looks like we're in the country, but we're actually kind of almost in the middle of the city. There's a pretty big piece of undeveloped land, green space. We've got a golf course just to our right through the trees, and we just exited the university property. Now we come to a busy street. Pain in the butt crossing this street when I'm riding home after work, but in the morning it's not so bad. Volume of traffic isn't quite bad yet. We're kind of just beating the rush. Doesn't matter what direction we're pointed, and seem to be getting some headwind. So we're about to dip under our second bridge here. How many bridges do you go under on your commute? Leave a comment. So we've exited the path. The path actually continues right there, but I exit because it makes it easier for me to merge on the next piece of path I need to get on. I need to go on the path here. Another fun section of path. Under our third bridge. So it's kind of a risky one. There's a really narrow path, and you don't know if someone's coming the other way. They might drift into your lane, but this time of the morning it's pretty rare. It has happened that we've come upon someone there and we both got spooked. Beautiful calm river. crossed a bridge. So we crossed one bridge on my way to work. Then we got the wind, and then the other thing is cold air is more dense. It's harder to cut through. So now it's down to 3.6 Celsius. The complete opposite direction of work. That's okay. It's all part of the plan. Been out for 23 minutes. Path. I normally don't go this way, but I'm going this way because it's more visually interesting. So we actually get to cross another bridge. On your left. Idiot. Okay, that's more or less it for paths. Now we're start dealing with city streets. really rare I get a red light here. So now we're going to start approaching some lights, and the crazy cycling vlogger does not wait at streetlights. So we're going to cut through parking lots, do whatever we have to do to keep moving. Was green, I would go straight through, in with the red light, so we're going to cut through here. And we're going to make it quick through here. Through the KFC Colonel Secret Recipe parking lot. Take some quieter side streets. Final stretch. So theoretically we should have a tailwind, but we don't. There's still wind swirling around us. What the hell's up with that? Almost there. That's where I work, across the street there. at work. So that was my full work commute. So 32 minutes, 6 seconds. So average speed of 28.5 kilometers an hour. Max speed 38.1. The current temperature is 3.4. Not very much vertical because it's mostly downhill and flat. 22 meters of vertical ascent. And here is my beautiful Cannondale. Frame bag works nice. I can put my batteries in there. Nice fun bike to commute on. Thanks for watching.